Let me tell you about the most common project management system in the world. It's not Planner, it's not Asana, and it's not Monday. It's a mix of a few emails, a couple sticky notes, a Teams chat thread that's 600 messages long, and one person who is mentally holding the whole project in their head like a stressed out human spreadsheet. And here's the weird part. A lot of teams do have project management software. They just don't use it as the system. They use it as a place tasks go to die. So today, we're going beyond the feature. This is not a click here, click there tutorial about project management software. This is a best practices episode. How you use project management software, like Microsoft Planner, as a simple, trustworthy workflow that helps your team finish work, not just track it. So welcome back to Beyond the Feature. This is where we stop hunting features and start upgrading workflows. And I'm Dr. Patrick Jones. So today's topic is project management software best practices, especially using tools like Microsoft Planner. I talk to Microsoft Planner about that to people all the time. In fact, it's my most popular book last month. It was Microsoft Planner in the 365 companion series on Amazon. So others feel the need for project management guidance too. And Planner is popular for a reason. It's simple enough for real teams, and it fits into everyday work. Plus, it's part of 365, and almost every organization has 365. So it's sitting right there ready for you to implement. But whether you use Planner, Trello, Asana, Monday, ClickUp, whatever, the best practices are basically universal. So we're going to cover what makes project software succeed or fail. It's the home, not a graveyard principle. Simple rules for clarity, ownership, and trust. Real examples for small businesses and nonprofits. And our usual weekly maintenance habit that keeps it alive. So let's start. So project tools fail for one big reason. They're treated like a storage bin, not a workflow. Teams will say, yeah, we have a planner, but the real work still happens in email, chat, meetings, hallway conversations, phone calls. So the tool becomes a second place to update. And when a tool becomes extra work, people stop using it. That's not laziness, that's survival. So the goal is not to use Planner more. The goal is to change one belief. The Planner board is the home for Project Truth. It's not chat, not email, not someone's memory. When the team trusts the board, they start relying on it. When they don't, it becomes busy work. So to do that, there's 4 laws of project management tools. So I'm going to give you those 4 laws right here. Put them on a sticky note, keep them somewhere, watch this again and again and again, right? So law number 1, if it isn't written down, it isn't real. I know that sounds dramatic, but it's true. If a task exists only in someone's head or buried in a chat, it will be forgotten. Trust me, I know from experience. Law number 2, every task needs an owner, not a group, not we, a person. If ownership is unclear, the task becomes more of a rumor. Law number 3, the board should show what's next, not everything we've ever done. If your board is a junk drawer, people avoid it. And law number 4, status must be easy. If updating those tasks feels heavy, no one updates the tasks. So the best boards are simple, clear, and then maintained. Now to do that, I have a 3-level system that keeps things clean, right? So here's the easiest way to keep project work sane. So level 1, you start with the projects, the big outcomes. Examples of that would be launch the new onboarding process, plan the fundraising event, website refresh, migrate email, things like that. And then level 2 is the tasks, the work that moves that project. Draft the volunteer email, book the venue, create the intake form, confirm vendors. Then the next level, level 3, is the next actions, the very next visible step. This is what people actually need day to day. If a task is too big, it becomes vague and nobody starts it. It's overwhelming. So a best practice is break tasks until they feel startable. Not perfect, just startable. Okay? So here's the best practices that make Planner or any tool actually work for you. Best practice number 1, name tasks like outcomes, not activities. Bad task names would be meeting, work on report, follow up, planner update. Don't do that. Good task names: confirm venue contract is signed, send volunteer schedule to the team, finalize a 3-slide board update, approve vendor invoice for printing. Outcome-based tasks reduce confusion and reduce "what did you mean" messages. Now here's best practice number 2. Use a simple status structure. 3 columns is enough. So even if your tool allows infinite customization, you don't need it. A simple structure: to do, doing, done. Maybe an optional 4th, which is waiting or blocked, but really that's it. Most teams create complicated categories and then nobody knows where anything goes. Simple wins. Best practice number 3, limit work in progress. This is a game changer. If your doing column has 19 tasks, your team is not doing 19 tasks. They are context switching. So set a simple rule. Each person can have no more than 3 active tasks at a time. This reduces stress and increases completion. And as those tasks get knocked off, others flow in. But it's easier to focus. Best practice number 4, one board is one shared truth. If you have tasks in email, chat, someone's notebook, a spreadsheet, and planner, you don't have a system. You have a scavenger hunt. So pick one home for all the tasks. Everything else becomes input on that home. So the workflow becomes ideas and requests can come from anywhere, but they get captured into the board. And the board is where you check status. Best practice number 5, write down decisions, not just tasks. This is beyond the feature gold, right? Projects derail because decisions are unclear. So whenever a decision happens, capture it somewhere visible. We chose vendor B. We're moving the event date to April 12th. We're not doing printed brochures this year. You can store decisions in a simple note or a decision section of the planners. Because if decisions aren't visible, teams relitigate them forever. All right, best practice number 6, make intake easy so the board stays current. So here's a big reason why boards die, is because people don't know how to add new work without messing it up. So create an intake list or column, new requests, ideas, things to triage. Then, once a week, you sort that column. Accept it, assign it, schedule it, or delete it. This prevents random tasks from landing everywhere and creating clutter. Best practice number 7, make due dates meaningful, not just decorative. So some teams avoid due dates because they're afraid of being wrong, but due dates aren't punishments, they're clarity. So the best practice is to use due dates for tasks that affect other tasks, deadlines from outside the team, or deliverables that you've promised to others. And if something changes, update the date. It's not failure, it's reality. Best practice number 8, a weekly boardwalk beats daily chaos. So most teams try to stay organized by constantly reacting. Instead, do a short weekly rhythm. Review what's done, review what's next, review what's blocked, and review new intake. Then confirm owners and due dates. This turns the board into a living system. Now let's take a look at some real world examples. So here's one, a nonprofit event planning example, right? Without a system, everything is "we'll remember." With a board, you have one bucket or list per major area: venue, volunteers, marketing, sponsors, day of ops, things like that. Then there's a waiting column for vendor replies, a weekly boardwalk to help clean it up. The outcome for that is less last minute panic, right? Everybody's prepared. There's predictable progress. Here's another example. This one's more of a small business with client onboarding. We all have client onboarding. Without a system, the clients feel like chaos and handoffs are messy. But when you have a board, it's a reusable onboarding template board. Each new client gets a copy. Tasks are assigned to roles like sales, delivery, admin, things like that. The outcome is that there's consistency, better customer experience, and less mental load. All right, now it's time for our takeaway. This is something that you can practice, right? If you want your project tool to work, remember this. The board is the home, not a graveyard. So try this week. Create or clean up one board. Simplify the status to do, doing, done, waiting. Make every task outcome-based. Ensure every task has an owner. And then do a 15-minute weekly board walk. All right? And at the end of that week, ask yourself, did the board reduce uncertainty, or did we still rely on chat and memory? So think about that and then rate yourself on a 1 to 5. And that's kind of how you can reflect and see what you can do better on that and how you can improve and, keep growing with it. Project management software isn't about managing people. It's about reducing confusion. When you use simple habits, one home, clear owners, outcome tasks, easy status, your team gets calmer and more effective. And whether you use Planner or something else, the principles are the same. But if you do use Planner and you want some more help, hey, like I said, I've got the Microsoft Planner book, part of the Microsoft 365 companion series. It's out on Amazon, so feel free to check it out. Other than that, this is Beyond the Feature. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.